Hello, I'm George, and this is my assessment task 3 covering Pokemon. So, starting with the brand overview, Pokemon was created in 1995 and began as a video game before becoming an animation TV series and trading card game in 1997. And the Pokemon Company is directly responsible for the franchise's branding, production, and marketing strategy. So, they produce a range of things from merchandise, games, trading cards, anime, and TV series. If we move into the target market, it's usually for kids. However, for this assessment, I'll be focusing on consumer insights from ages 18 to 30 who have grown up with Pokemon in the 90s. The key consumer characteristics of this target market would be someone who values creativity, is seeking competition or leisure, motivated by collection and nostalgia, and usually digitally savvy or interested in gaming. The goal of the recommendations and consumer insights is thus based on appealing to and maintaining Pokemon's wider audience as an evolving and appealing brand, not just for kids, but for their initial audience too, which is an aging demographic. So from Module 4, I'll be focusing on habitual consumer decisions as something that Pokemon do really well. They use cyclical marketing in that each year, pretty much, they release new generations of Pokemon, and with that come a new game, merchandising, and this model is the same structure with each release, which builds habits for consumers as they know what to expect from the brand. Another aspect of this is nostalgia, and they can really rely on this to keep older audiences engaged and to revisit Pokemon as adults, as they've developed habits with the brands as kids. Similarly, they do this through collectibles. So one example of that is the Pokemon cards. There's this rarity aspect and the value of the Pokemon cards in the secondhand market, which almost gives it this gambling characteristic where you may return to buy it again and again, seeking rare and exclusive merchandise. So moving on to something Pokemon could improve from Module 4, this is content and social media. And one aspect of this is sensory engagement. The website and social media is lackluster and it appeals to children, not a diverse and current market. Digital trust is often intuitive rather than logical, so aesthetics really matter here and the implicit clues that are built in their digital content scheme. So I've just put in here a competitor, which is Animal Crossing, and just the website homepage, you can really get a quick overview of their brand. It's super clear. There's interactive animation, it fills the screen, it's clear and consistent. Whereas Pokemon, you're kind of a bit confused where to go, where to start, what brand I'm even looking at, and it reads a bit like an outdated blog. They could also instill better media use habits. At the moment, there is nothing that keeps you coming back to Pokemon online. And this is just a quick example of their social media where the link in their bio just leads to another duplicate Instagram feed rather than something that is clear and fresh and provides a cornerstone for consumers. It's also oversaturated with content. So they at the moment use different media engagement across different regions. And whilst this has pros and cons, a lot of their content is recycled. Just a quick snapshot of when you search Pokemon in on Instagram at the long list of official accounts they're running. And again, when you click on the website from some of the social media, it leads you to this obscure page where you're asked to select a country or region. And then from those links, it kind of takes you to this dead end point of text, which then can lead you to another site. So this is the Australian one trying to lead you to the UK site. Now, the recommendation here is for an overall improved digital experience within content and social media. And there's two ways they can do this: simplification and diversification. Starting and referring back to the target market, consumers want clarity. And the target market are particularly digitally savvy. They know what to expect and they want the decision-making process to be simple. At the moment, there's multiple dead-end links and it causes frustration in decision-making. The content is just also oversaturated and extremely childlike. One aspect of this recommendation is simplification, which is a nudging technique, and clear and simplified navigation would really help here. They can emphasize the biggest news, not all minor releases. They can develop a consistent graphic style and a cornerstone international website so that the brand awareness and satisfaction as a consumer, reading the brand and working through the navigation online is a lot easier, and I'm sure this would convert to more sales. Similarly, with diversification, they can improve awareness of the brand by diversifying the marketing channels, not relying on dumping all on one particular platform, but having multiple with tailored engagement so that the consumers are more satisfied in their experience online. So from Module 5, something that Pokemon do really well is the recreational sticky journey model. And this is because they have such a large range of products and services. Once people are hooked, the scope is almost endless. Particularly the service design principle they make great use of, as there is endless variation within the customer journey. So they do rely a bit on habit and nostalgia, but each game and generation release still comes with unexpected updates, new Pokemon, and exciting events. Leading into adoption, which is something they can improve as part of the recreational sticky journey model, they could have more accessible entry points so brand awareness and satisfaction are maintained across all ages. So they don't always need to rely or shouldn't always rely on kids' habitual and nostalgic returns. They could consider ways their initial audience could be readopted into the brand, but also consider new and current markets such as fashion lovers or female gamers. They did make one such feat with the innovation of Pokemon Go, where Pokemon did become pretty mainstream, but that hype has since faded. So the recommendation is increasing these adoption rates, and they can do this with technology and collaboration. Referring back to the target market and consumers in general, we always want new and exciting things. There is always a new best thing, and it's important for brands to stay on trend. So technology is one way they can do this. They could engage in technological events and conventions where they actively participate with leading tech companies to engage consumers in new and exciting ways. This could be also implementation of better graphics and playstyles in the games, or increased customization of character for any gender. So that might be a specific example. They can innovate the technology to respond to the social climate. The aspect of this is collaboration. Anime, gaming, cartoons have become so present in fashion as a form of self-expression, yet the Pokemon stores stay really behind in what they're releasing. So this is just a quick snapshot here. So they did actually just the other day launch a collaboration with a streetwear brand called Market, and this was one of my key recommendations for them, which is quite interesting. Now, from Module 6, something that Pokemon do well is increased digital adoption. And I just spoke about adoption, but this is something Pokemon could still capitalize on more. It's more so something that they were able to capitalize on based on market conditions and the COVID pandemic. So there was increased gaming interest and willingness to adopt new leisure activities from home. Whilst this no doubt increased sales and potential awareness about the games, it also backs the previous recommendation of having a cornerstone website with clearer navigation as digital becomes a way forward. Something Pokemon could improve is their sustainability and activism. They use a lot of single-use plastic currently for all of their products, and when I delved into their sustainability principles, there is just one statement that was released 8 months ago claiming compliance in product packaging. And it's super vague. It just says that everything's recyclable. Again, one of the links is a dead end. So there's even, change.org petitions online about this, but it's even if that packaging is all recyclable, it's not clear, nor can it be relied upon by consumers to actually have recycling in mind when they're unwrapping the packaging. So the recommendation following this holistic view of sustainability and activism could be developed through eco-friendly incentives. So the target market are increasingly challenging and expecting more from brands, and sustainable and social issues are important in today's climate for a strong perception and increased awareness and satisfaction from consumers. One part of this is developing an eco-friendly packaging system, less plastic overall, and developing Pokemon cards themselves to be manufactured from recycled materials. They could also develop a scheme where consumers can trade in or recycle unwanted or damaged cards or consumer goods. Some of the incentives that could be done, which would involve active participation in sustainable principles by offering limited time or exclusive merchandise as a reward. So an example might be a Pokemon plush. When you buy one, $1 of that will go towards supporting an endangered animal species. Lego just did something really similar to this, where they are giving the chance for consumers to give their old Lego bricks to children in need. Thank you so much for listening, and here are my references for the presentation. Thank you.